Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And thank you to all the witnesses coming before the subcommittee today. Most parents' number one savings priority is college tuition, yet 3 out of 10 parents say they're unsure of what the final sticker price of college would be. I imagine it's actually higher than that. In recent years, parents have been taking out more loans and even dipping into retirement savings to send their kids to college. But unfortunately, there's little incentive for institutions to provide a good faith net cost estimate because they fear that doing so will drive families to a more affordable school. Institutions are under significant pressure to do whatever they can to generate more revenue and often resort to unethical tactics described by our witnesses today. According to the GAO, only 9% of institutions provide accurate net cost estimates in their financial aid offers. In 2008, Congress tried to address this price transparency problem by requiring all institutions to post a net price calculator on their website. Dr. Gillen, when the law was passed, it seemed like the net price calculator requirement was an important step toward transparency, but it has clearly been insufficient in this dysfunctional pricing system. What other reforms could help here?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the initial law was good. There was a long lead time. I think it was about 3 years from when the law was passed to when the schools had to comply. And then when we saw what they did, they were all using different formulas. So they were all calculating, some were including loans, some weren't. And so these are basically not comparable across institutions for the most part. And they were also tended to be pretty difficult to find. And so I think addressing that, making it more standardized and more easily usable, I think would go a long way to fixing it. And I don't want to put a one-size-fits-all solution on this. So I think we should have a universal methodology one, but I think we should also allow the colleges to say, okay, but this is what is unique about Grove City, or this is what's unique about my institution, that this universal methodology doesn't fix, and here's what we think the real number is. But they have to report the kind of comparable one, and then they can make their case for why that doesn't fit for their particular institution.
You know, I found your testimony about the 3 different types of goods. You said search goods are like buying, light bulbs at Walmart. Is it experience goods like
Yes.
restaurants, and then credence goods? What's a credence good?
So credence good is basically you don't know even after you purchased it if
Yes.
it was what you got.
Yeah.
Like realistically, I don't know if my college education paid off until I'm retired.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on my porch drinking iced tea, and then I'm like, you know what? That was a good idea. I'm glad I did that. But
It really is like that.
Yeah,
it really is like that. Yeah.
And so
Lifetime earnings.
That's what's different.
As an engineer versus a poli-sci major. Okay, got it. And I just can't help but to think, especially in this day and age, how many parents sent their kids off to school, and those kids got radicalized. Sometimes the universities, the colleges contributing to that radicalization, and sometimes even cut off their parents. No longer wanted to talk to people like them, usually meaning a MAGA Republican or such things. I just think we place a lot of trust in institutions of higher education, and we get very little good faith back in return in the financial aspect, or in the, if you will, moral development and intellectual development aspect. Mr. Wishing, Grove City, we only have a minute left. Grove City College, it sounds like it's doing exactly what we would want a college to do, give an actual price, and then produce outstanding outcomes. 96% of your graduates employed or enrolled in a graduate student within 6 months. What do you attribute this success to?
Well, number one, we're upfront about our price. I think people understand the value when they come in. We don't pull any punches about the rigor of Grove City. You've got to work hard to get a degree at Grove City. Employers know that. We generally attract families with students of families that have good values. They've got a good work ethic. They have to work hard at Grove City, and and they've learned a lot. They're well prepared. But when they graduate, they don't leave those values on the graduation stage. That's all the companies are looking for. People are going to put in a hard day's work. They're prepared to do the job, and that's what we graduate.
Well, thank you. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much.